Hello everyone, it's time to party, I guess, with this music. I'm back again for what I suppose is the second half of this trial, because we reached that trial suspended, trial resume part. And I suppose that means I'm halfway through, but I'm not really sure. I think these trials have increased in length as time goes on, so I do not know if I'm going to be able to finish it in just this one session, but we shall see. Oh, yes. Before I move on, I wanted to say, once again, I was thinking about the game after I had finished playing, and I went back to that geometry problem. It wasn't really a problem, it was just their explanation. And once again, if you draw it on a piece of paper, it becomes a bit more clear. So yes, indeed, if you take a hexagon, and from one of the sides of that hexagon, take out a four-sided shape, you do indeed get an octagon, an eight-sided shape. So I understand now. Essentially, there was an extra floor that was above Grape House and to the sides of Strawberry House, and it kind of wrapped around Strawberry House. It seemed a bit of a weird thing to. You had to, click on the blank space outside of Strawberry House. So I understand it now. Hindsight, I get it now. But at the time, I was not understanding what it wanted to ask. But now I get it. It makes sense. Maybe it's a bit obtuse. I don't know. I've not watched any other Let's Plays of this game. And, I won't until I finish the game myself. So, there's a few I'm going to watch, I think. A few people that I usually watch. And, I'm interested to see if, they breeze through some of the things I've had trouble with. So, I think that'll be a fun thing for me to compare. In any case, let's get back to the trial. Let's see if we can, solve it, I guess, because that's where we're going. But first we gotta hear what Monami has to say, so let's do that.
I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up. My heart's thumping like crazy. I might as well have a laid-back, so what attitude and go ahead with high energy. Yeehaw! But be careful that your batteries don't run out for various reasons. And just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently.
Thank you. Yes, I save frequently. Here we go.
I never expected the funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon.
Well, I guessed that it would be. In particular, I said the layout, but I think it's pretty close to saying that the house itself is the weapon.
Oh well, let's just press on ahead.
Yeah, okay. Taking it in stride.
Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily?
Well, I guess it comes down to how precisely it's used.
I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is...
What?
The killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Mekumaru's murderer?
Yes, that is very important.
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it,
Well, that's I kind of want to get into the minutia here. I want to know. So obviously, they must have hit that button and caused him to go into sleep mode, because he couldn't have fought back during the time he was. Again, does that seem outlandish? I don't know. Let's
There's
just keep
no
going.
way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying?
He's right. There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but I will sincerely retract that remark.
Oof. Coming from him, that's quite something.
Retract?
I'm disappointed too, you know. If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder.
Here we go, Gundam. That's a thing to say. Yeah.
Simply sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
Yeah. Gundam's saying some good things right now.
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can.
Hits him with the I see and moves on. Wow.
Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know. Akane, you were drooling waterfalls?
Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or not.
Anyway, if the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used
Yes, this is what we must think
How
of.
they killed Nekomaru.
I'm guessing... Okay, forgive me if this is crazy or out there. I'm guessing they deactivated him somehow, strung him up to the pillar somehow, and then used the elevator that is the tower, and... Well, maybe they weakened it with a hammer. Maybe they weakened the pillar with a hammer, and that's why there's no oil on it, because they didn't use it on Nekomaru. They used it on the... But why'd they leave it there? No, but let's try to think of it, just the main parts. And then they used the elevator, and then the pillar collapsed. But no, because there were pieces under him, so they wouldn't have fallen on top of him. I'm not sure.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Well, some blunt trauma to the head is where we're at, right? True. Okay, so my guess would have to be falling.
I see! That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
Yeah. But it might not be the same way that they're going to explain.
Died from falling?
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Did they somehow make it... Okay, here's a thought. Did they somehow make it so that it was possible for him to go through... Okay, Strawberry is the one on top, right? To go through Strawberry... Go into the tower from Strawberry Hall while the floor was at Grape Hall, and he fell all the way down and hit his head off the pillar, and that caused the pillar to fall. Is that possible? Which was the door that was tampered with? Strawberry Hall. Maybe they were able to get it open somehow. Is that too much of a stretch? We've already kind of said that Kaz probably wasn't it based on you know, the dummy, that whole dummy situation and how it was exact on both sides. So I guess... Nagito said this was a murder that wasn't based on hope. I wonder what he means by that.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
It would have to be Strawberry Hall.
That I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method. Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
Strawberry Hall.
It might be possible in the tower. You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Hey, here we go. Here we go.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the 1st floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Yes, so this is a conundrum.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
You know, Gundam, I feel like that's a little unnecessary, what you just said.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? If I'm going to reach the truth behind this incident, I need to solve that mystery next. Okay, here we go. Good night button. What's contact elevator again?
When the elevator...
Yeah, there's the safety button. What was it? Good night button. Wait, let's just listen.
You can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Mekamaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on. Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside,
The
other door
okay.
won't open.
Hang on, I see something.
Which means the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
Okay, I see. I think I see something. So...
When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the
Oopsie
victim
daisy.
from up there.
Then, how about after locking Mekamaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the and made use of the drop.
Hold on. Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside.
Hey,
No, that's wrong.
he's a robot.
That sensor should only work if something is moving.
Yeah.
If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If
Yes.
he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner,
Yes, that's
Nekomaru
also
would
true.
have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from. Yes.
Seemingly, yes.
That's what I was about to explain, before Kazuichi interrupted me.
Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
Oof again. A way to create the drop. So this is where the wire comes in. He was... So it's like a combination of the two thoughts I've had. He was tied up somewhere. The doorknob. Right? Could that have been it? He was tied to the doorknob? But was that on the... Which side of the room was that? Hang on. And it was towards the back of the room that Nekomaru was, right? I think I see. I think I see it. I think I see it. I think I get it. So, but the question is who? Who did it? I think Kaz and Nagito are out. Who does that leave us with? It leaves us with Gundam, Fuyuhiko, Akane. I'm not Akane, I'm discounting that. So Gundam, Fuyuhiko, Chiaki, Sonia. 4 people, I think, is where we're at right now. I think we need to get into the clocks and them being different times to kind of narrow it down a bit more, because Gundam, Fuyuhiko, and Kaz might be able to cover for each other on that. Which, if they are able to do that, it would leave Chiaki and Sonia. And I don't know... which of the two it would be in that case. Chiaki seems to have an idea about what way could it be. Okay, let's hear it. Wires. It's probably gonna be wire. Let's hear her.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
Yeah.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
Yes, that.
How about we all shut up and listen to what Chiaki has to say?
Silence, pest!
Don't be so cold. What if I start to enjoy it?
Oh no. Okay, so what am I trying to say exactly? So the wire. So do I...
Arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the
wait,
elevator.
wait.
So you're telling us to think about the arrangement,
I
right?
kind of don't remember how to do
That arrangement is...
agreement.
The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
I need to either... I need to...
The
hang on.
doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
No. I missed...
Crap!
Wait, did I miss it, or did I...
If you arrange it a certain
on,
way,
hang on,
you
hang
can
on, hang
cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement,
I
right?
think I got it.
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
Okay,
I agree with that.
I agree with this. I've given my consent.
Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it?
Yes, it did.
That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Yeah.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob,
Would that have been enough to keep him there long enough?
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
Because he has to be really heavy, right?
That's right. He was suspended in midair. Huh? The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied
Yes.
the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor.
Yes.
With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grape Tower
Uh-huh.
and suspended Nekomaru in midair.
Huh. So they were just hoping that the doorknob would eventually fail?
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
Oh, thanks for that, Monokuma.
You better not finish that sentence.
Yeah, that was
The killer
good,
took
thanks.
advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy.
Okay, Kaz, let's hear it.
So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do
Well-
you get him to fall?
Yes, that is a question.
Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
Did the killer, like, throw the hammer from... I don't know. New looking hammer.
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that. Now's the time. But in that case, you still won't be able to explain that moving the elevator with Nekomaru inside is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Crap! What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Oh, I understand. How devious. How devious. Wow. They set his alarm for 7:30. He woke up. And, oh man. That is devious.
Crap! What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode.
No. Oh, wait. No.
If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do... Now's the time. But in that case, you still won't be able to... Moving the elevator with Nekomaru is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru fell on his own?
Wait, huh?
Crap!
How do I...
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
How do I...
Crap!
I thought I
What?
understood.
Nekomaru fell on his own?
Oh, wait.
Crap! What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Maybe I don't understand.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do... Now's the time. But in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru inside is just impossible. End of story. What?
I feel like this should
Nekomaru
work.
fell on his own?
No, it doesn't work.
Crap! What? Nekomaru
No,
fell on his
no,
own?
no. Sorry. Wrong button.
Crap! What? Nekomaru fell on... Nekomaru should have still been in sleep.
Allow me to
What?
cut through those words.
I guess I didn't do it.
What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
Okay, I did get it. Sorry, I just must have clicked the wrong time and with the wrong thing and got confused. I got it.
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why, if something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right? Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
They were.
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Well, good work, Nekomaru. You helped us solve this.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Could have been.
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig.
Okay, calm down.
Isn't that right, Miss Sonia?
No.
If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
I don't like this turn.
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
Okay, good. Good work, Sonia.
This guy, he gets off on this.
Yeah. And then Sonia gets back at him.
So thanks to that
That's good.
alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down. That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
Yeah, probably hit the pillar.
I see!
Yeah.
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
Yes.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
In a sense.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm
we
was
go.
set for 7:30 a.m.
I'm getting into the clock thing, and there has to be something here that gives away the culprit.
Nah, that's impossible. Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention it, so did I.
Yep.
There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
Because all the clocks were tampered with.
That's what I want to know.
So what clue would tell us that? Oh, the radio clock. That has to be it. Give me radio clock. Radio clock. Here we go.
We headed for Grape Tower before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
Yes.
No, that's wrong.
We got there. We got there. Just had to wait.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
Here we go.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
With that clock.
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered
Here we
with.
go. Here we go.
The clock inside Grape House?
Not just that one.
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
What? Why do you say that there's no possibility?
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
Yes.
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
Yes. They were all tampered with. Oh man, what am I? Oh, it's a logic dive. This should be easier. Let's do this. I'm kind of not sure what they're all messing with, or what they're all confused about. Okay. Here we go, here we go. What's the first question? The time in the building. Yes. All the clocks were tampered with, is what we're saying. Because, oh my goodness. Okay, we got it. These are getting... Oh! Okay. These are getting a bit more challenging. Gotta put some oomph in it. No, not enough oomph, I guess. Nope, sorry. Should I slow down to do that? I'm not sure. There. Okay, I can nail the first one. It's this second one. Oh, too early on that. Okay, here we go. Now, okay, yep, simple. It's going from right to left that gets me, and nailed it. Okay, there we go. Next question. Both, or the buildings clocks? Oh, I see, both is in Nekomaru's. Just the buildings, yes. Yep. Here we go. Both houses. Yep. Simple. It is as I thought. All the clocks were tampered with. Yep.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
No, but they did.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if
Yes.
you checked all the clocks inside the building, There's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
2 hours. Oh man, what am I gonna say here? Okay, let's just listen.
If
Let's
the time
listen.
in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
Yes.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
5:30.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
I think it's gonna be one of the.
If only I heard the sound when he fell.
Yes.
It would have been a great clue.
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a scream.
If only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough, we would have heard it too.
There's no point in saying that. If does not exist in this world.
Okay. Hang on. Let's. What are my options? I want to say, what is Akane's account? Let's try Akane's account.
Then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yes.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru
Just an
fell?
earthquake.
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
I mean, Hajime heard it
We
too.
heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Okay. So this is interesting. Were Sonia and Nagito in equivalent rooms? That is to say, they were in the same side, same, like, he was in what, one of the extravagant rooms?
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about.
I don't know this
If
mystery.
we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane.
2 hours.
I see!
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
Yes.
2 hours? That much?
That's why Nekomaru said we were late.
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
You know what I'm noticing? This might not be anything. But in this whole clock conversation, Chiaki's been real quiet. Although she did talk a lot in the actual formulation of how Nekomaru died. So maybe that's nothing.
The reason is obvious. So they could lure out just
Because,
Nekomaru.
yes, I think I said this, because he has the only correct clock. Yeah. Yes.
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Well, Monokuma Tai Chi.
I see!
Yeah.
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right? But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
Yes. He was going to Tai Chi,
If I
man.
recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around
So why
5
were-
a.m.
Yeah, why were you out and about, Fuyuhiko? And why did Nagito and Sonia not hear the alarm? Or the... Yeah.
And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right?
Well, normally you would think that with everyone.
We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez. That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot or something like that.
Something like that, yes.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad.
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it. It's incorrect.
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Okay, let me hear it, Nagito.
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects?
Because this is it. This
Don't
is
be
what we
a
need.
friggin' liar.
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say
Oh?
next.
huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after
He waited
that?
in the lounge for 30 minutes,
Are you talking about that alarm?
and that alarm.
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred.
Oh.
it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
So that would be... It's not Nagito, so... It's not Hajime. I think it has to be like Sonia or Chiaki. Because all the guys were together when that happened, and they could, well... I mean, not necessarily, right? Because... They just had to tie him up. Well, they pressed the button, they tied him up, put him on the doorknob, and set the alarm to 7:30. So couldn't they have, like, couldn't Fuyuhiko have done it, like, for example? Or no? Because Nekomaru died because his alarm was set, so someone could have set it and then left. Right? Am I crazy about that, or I need to hear more?
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
Anyone who is at Girl House. Excuse me, Grape House.
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Are you saying Nagito?
Who isn't? Who's the bastard?
Oh, we're gonna guess now? I don't think it's him. I think Kaz is meaning him since he called him bastard, so... him?
You're the only one!
Well, I don't think he is the only one.
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there.
That's
Me,
true.
Gundam and Fuyuhiko.
And he said he didn't hear it. But Sonia said, well, wait, was there alarm? No. Am I... She didn't hear the rumble, not the alarm. She didn't hear the rumble at 7:30. I don't know what that means.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please, say something!
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive
Oh
you!
my goodness, what would that even look like?
If I may be frank,
You may, go ahead.
even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
Really?
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the week.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that
Okay.
rumbling sound.
So like Sonia. But what does that mean?
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me.
Yes. What does that mean?
It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
Hajime heard it.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
3 people didn't hear it. Okay.
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it. But it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
It must be something. I just don't know what
Couldn't hear
it is.
it? What does that mean?
You still don't know.
I don't know. Sorry, Nagito.
Think about what the 3 of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Were the extravagant rooms soundproof? Is that where this is going? Door. Del. Deluxe room. Deluxe. Deluxe. Oh. Deluxe rooms. There we go. Okay.
I got it!
Interesting. I didn't get it, but I was kind of there.
The 3 of you were staying in
So it's
deluxe
one of
rooms,
these
right?
3. Is that what we're getting at? It's Nagito, Sonia, or Chiaki. Pretty sure it's not Nagito, so Sonia or Chiaki have to be it. Who do I think it is between Sonya and Chiaki?
If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
There it is, yeah, soundproof. I didn't remember he said that.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation.
If I remembered that, it would have clicked instantly.
You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve course student talent?
Come on.
Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive fact?
Okay, I feel like I understand what Nagato means. But these two, what distinguishes them? No. Okay.
Crap!
If it's not her, then I have no idea.
Crap!
Okay, I have no idea. No idea at all. I failed again. It's not Nagito again, is it?
Crap!
Wait, who was on the boy side? Who was on the other deluxe room? I don't remember. I get it now. I get it now. It's Gundam Fuyuhiko, or I had it in reverse. I thought they all covered for each other, but okay, I get it. I get it. But I don't remember which one was in the Who took the room? Who was across from Nagito? I don't remember. But I get it. I get it now. And it makes sense. Kaz, because I hate you. Yeah.
Crap!
Fuyuhiko?
Crap!
So then it's Gundam. No. Okay.
We will never give up!
Well, now I feel sad. Yeah, okay. So it's Gundam then.
You're the only one!
Okay. I had
There's
it.
something I want to ask.
I had it in reverse. I thought the guys covered for each other, but that just provides the alibi. Makes sense. Makes sense. I got it. I was going down the wrong track. Makes sense. Really, Gundam?
When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too.
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right?
I had completely forgotten about the soundproof nature of the deluxe rooms, and that could have made it click much earlier.
Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
But yeah, makes sense. Okay. I didn't get the culprit again, but at least I'm able to, I think I'm satisfied with the logic, I think. Because it makes sense. That it makes sense in that I feel like if you had remembered that detail, you would have been able to get this a lot sooner. Like if I had just remembered that, I would have been able to solve even more of this much earlier. So, yeah.
Gundam?
Yeah. Man. I guess it's the fault of taking like week-long breaks between play sessions or playing really late, but I just did not remember that detail.
There is only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko. Me?
Because you were waiting in the lounge.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Nekomaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
Makes you think how they could have seen him though, because the lounge is like in a to the side.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
Because I was in the lounge.
I mean, good work for you, Hiko.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's...
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out.
True.
That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
10.
Huh?
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Ah, well, makes sense to me. Innocent.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Okay, buddy.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway.
Yep.
So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Hold on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Yeah, Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce. Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers.
What did you read?
Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you. At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weird. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later.
Here's a crazy
And
idea.
finish this opening act already.
Here's a crazy idea. What if he is actually covering for the killer this whole thing, this whole trial? Wouldn't that be crazy?
You said opening act again!
Please hold on. We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal.
Well, he did give a rebuttal.
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption
Here we
has been
go.
wrong since the beginning.
Okay. No last minute twist here.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor.
Yeah.
From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
And where was it last? Would have arrived at Great. In this instance, if we're going that the killer, they just used the octagon. So you could have just used the octagon. So that'll be Nagito's sudden appearance. Yep.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
Sure, but they could have gotten back.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, he wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing, which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this
The thing is,
contradiction.
Nagito could totally just speak up and end this right now. Show it to me. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, what do we have to do here?
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
That secret
How
passage?
much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was
This might be a...
broken at Grape House.
if the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
Yes!
No, that's wrong.
I got it. I got it. I understand.
No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist!
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
Yeah. Nagito, get in here, buddy. Get in here.
You're the only one! Nagito, you should know.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method.
It's a hatch.
There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up. But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on
There
the
we go.
first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down, surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Meaning the
So that's
third
what
floor
that's there
and the
for.
fourth floor are actually connected.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame! However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
What? Okay.
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion.
Why?
If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
There's no way I can stop.
Did you say? Don't make me angry! You wouldn't like me when I'm angry!
Okay. I'm confused. What are we arguing
Even
about?
if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail, I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
I can't back down!
Oh, wait. Okay.
I already proved a secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light! Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
I actually
Know
don't
the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion.
Crap!
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion.
Crap!
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion.
Crap!
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur!
Oh, maybe it's
If you
the
don't
good
want to
night
drown in the
button.
maelstrom of blind confusion.
Let's try good night button. Because they were able to. Because they were able
Know
to
the
get the
limits of
hammer.
your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion.
No. Okay.
Crap!
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to
wire?
the Octagon.
That came from the
Don't
Octagon.
bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom.
Allow
There
me
we
to
go.
cut through those
Okay,
words.
I understand now.
The wire used to the hammer that looked like those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the Octagon. There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
Well, I gotta apologize to Chiaki and Sonia. Sorry, guys. I didn't know about the. I had forgotten about the soundproof of the deluxe, so I thought that the guys were all cleared. And since I didn't think it was Nagito or Hajime, I thought that meant it could only be one of you two, but I was wrong. So sorry. It's tough because we can never get like a motive for the killer. And I feel like that would be helpful, but in some cases it's like impossible to know the motive behind. I mean, what's the motive going to be for Gundam? Just hunger? Could have been, but then that applies to everyone. So I don't know. But with this particular trial, if I had remembered that particular detail, this would have been obvious. So I think let's just go.
It seems this is the end. Normally, we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case.
You're not gonna let me?
But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act. So I'm going to end this right now.
Hey, what are you?
First of all, by messing with all the
Hey.
clocks in the building, Gundam tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably
What?
broken by that point.
I can't even.
Thanks to that,
Hey.
Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point. so he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place.
Where's my cool comic
The button in
thing?
Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties. But even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded.
How did Gundam open up the good night button?
They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
And without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay? Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru, so by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru
how did he do that? With
powerless
the
without
hammer?
fighting him.
How do you do that?
Hold on! You... What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me! Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
He's just kind of going in a weird direction.
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all! Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
What? You would fight? You wouldn't be sneaky?
I don't
that
understand
what you're saying?
anything. What does that mean?
It appears I cannot finish just yet. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot
Oh no, wait.
finish!
No. This is just the final thing.
What do you intend to do?
That final showdown.
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button.
Yes, that was the thing I asked.
However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
Hide behind the pillar, I guess.
It's not easy to get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Yeah.
Just as I thought. Truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument. It was just a mere illusion. If you want to set me up as the killer, at least surpass your own human limitations.
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied. Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat. First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And you must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
I guess you really don't want to admit it. Then as you requested, I'll provide you an argument that'll leave you no choice but to be persuaded. Here we go. PTA, Parent Teacher Association.
For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you!
Forgot the reload button.
For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! For the Tanaka Empire! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
This is the end!
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, You should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck.
Yeah, but it was like cracked open.
As long as you had the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Wasn't it like... How'd they do that? See that there? Could hamsters do that?
Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Well, if they are as powerful as he claims.
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster. But it would have been possible for Gundams. In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
We did. Wow, foreshadowing.
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved the piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting, right? Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Mekamaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
It's just weird to me that it's cracked open, though.
How about it, Gundam?
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are. I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say you admit it?
Yeah, but this doesn't sound like the soundtrack you'd admit that to.
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell.
Oh, here we go.
Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses.
Oh.
You cannot find peace without sacrifice anywhere.
You're just accepting it.
Now, trample this life. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road. Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own two hands.
Okay, here we go. Can I can't save. We just gotta try and do this quickly. It's not that. Okay. It's not that. There we go. There we go. It's not that. It's not that. But that's... Isn't that weird? food. Don't we already have that though? Here. Yuriko can't sleep? Where's that? Ah, okay.
Here's everything that happened
Okay,
in this case.
let's do this.
Let's first go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the crime. First, they destroyed the contact elevator. This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House. Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House lounge and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m.
Yes.
After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the Octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final dead room. This means the killer discovered the secret of the funhouse faster than anybody else. That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building. On the morning of the incident, Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Grape Tower for a specific reason.
Yes.
There, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru. According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m., but by that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Taichi begins. Nekomaru went to Grape Tower to participate in that. However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Grape Tower. So he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower. But the killer... With the power of hamsters, they were able to press the good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck. This forced
So did
him
it break
to
in
enter
the
sleep
fall
mode,
then?
rendering him immobile.
I guess it just broke in the fall.
From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon. First, they set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up. Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob. After leaving Strawberry Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall. They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower, and to keep us from discovering the secret of the building's structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House. After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending, and Nekomaru's body was still inside, dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer entered Grape Tower to see if their setup was successful. And placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back to their room using the secret passage, so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge. As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, actually 7:30.
How come there was an alarm set in Strawberry Hall in that clock, but there was no alarms set in Grape House? That's weird, right?
To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others. When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up. He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob. But because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking. Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor. He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact, and died. The sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room. They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge. That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
Splendid. That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Stop. Stop it already. Stop using weird words to avoid the truth. Or I'll friggin' kill you myself!
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe. You killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that.
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret? Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for Gundam Tanaka! My beloved, deadly foes, let the voting time begin!
Here we go. Really? Haven't I only ever gotten B? That kind of makes me sad. I feel like I did better this time. Oh wow, 75, 70... Anything below 80 is... Or... Yeah. Huh. Well, I thought I did better, but I guess the game didn't think so. Okay.
This result isn't all that exciting.
Okay, I'm ending it here. I've been going for a while, so I'm just gonna end it. I'll talk a lot about what happened next time, so... Until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.